What the heck is she doing now? Well, you never can tell. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the link below so you can find out all the good stuff I've got coming up. Today, we've got an experiment. Stay tuned. Well, and I guess the word today isn't really apt. I mean, you're gonna see it in one day, but this experiment's gonna take me over a month. I, as you know, am an Etsy seller. I'm a vintage Etsy seller. And I have my own, I have a brick and mortar store, and you know, just kind of trying to get this year on track and get the sales up this year. That was part of my goals. If you haven't seen the goals video, I can put a link in the cards. But I've been reading a lot, and a lot of the articles that I've come across on Reddit and in blogs and things like that say that to help increase traffic to your Etsy site, one of the things you should do is post a new item every day. Now, these blogs and these, the Reddit thing that I looked at were makers. These are people that are creating things for Etsy, not necessarily vintage sellers. But I wanted to see if that was true. So if I posted every day for a month, what would my traffic sources look like? What would the increase? Would my sales increase? And so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take 30 photos and post 30 days in a row, at least 30, I should say, because there might be times that I wanna do more than one on a day, or more than, you know, more than two, whatever. I don't know, it's whimsy. I wanna load the store. So there, I had sold quite a few pieces, and the store is looking a little bare. I think right now I have 45 items up there. I'd like to get, you know, a couple hundred at least on there at all times. So my initial goal for the year was to post 3 new items per week. Well, when I started reading and researching a little bit more, yeah, they said every day. So let's try it and see what happens and take you along. But as you can see, I've got my light box set up back here. Created my own light box on, watched a YouTube video. It's not working. I did everything she said. I swear to God. And it's not working. I'm getting shadows like crazy. I may have to break down and just buy a freaking light box. I think they have them on Amazon for like $25, and I'm so frustrated with my little cobbled together light box. Oh, I just broke a mirror. 7 years bad luck, y'all. I'm so frustrated with my cobbled together light box. I may just break down and have it overnighted to me, because I'm so put out with the shadows and the darkness, and I did everything right. There's a light on top, there's the lights on either side, and then I ended up grabbing a clamp light and sticking it right in front because it was so dark. Even with all the light flooding it from every direction, it still wasn't working. So if you're thinking about selling vintage on Etsy, this is all the stuff that you don't think about, the investments that you don't think about of having a light box or a backdrop of some kind, or the proper lighting. And it's been super frustrating for me to get up to speed on, I mean, I'm not a product photographer, guys. I'm a junker. That's what I do. I go out and I find junk. I don't want to have to photograph it and do all this stuff, but I am a one-woman show. So here I am learning, and I'm going to take you along for the ride. But the cobbled together light box from the YouTube video, you know, the under $10, make your own light box. Oh no, I mean, I'm gonna spring for the 25, y'all. I mean, look, it's just horrible. I'm gonna have to figure this out, but let's see what happens. I'm gonna post every day, and I will show you my results. There you go. Okay, so I did it. I did the postings every day for 30 days. I'm in my living room, by the way, because I have to be. I have to see my computer to get the stats so I can tell you what they were over the last 30 days. So first of all, when you see these pictures, there's two things on there that you're going to be looking at. And one of them says, no, I better figure it out. Visits and views. So there was a little confusion about what a visit is and what a view is. So I want to make sure that that's clear. A visit is how many people actually hit your Etsy site. So if there were 10 people and 50 views, that means each person on average visited 5 different listings that you have. So that's the difference between a visit and a view. So I guess for my purposes, I'm going by visits because I wanted to see if my number of visits, and that's the one thing that on the graph chart that I'm going to be showing you, it's showing you visits and then sales. So the difference between the last 30 days and the previous 30 days of how many visits and how many views. So let's take a peek. Yeah, and I'm gonna pull mine up over here, but I'll show you guys. Okay, so here is what the last 30 days looked like. And as you can see, there are several sales on there. One day, that day with the great big green spike, that is actually 2 sales that day. So I did not sell one thing for $110. It was actually a double sale that day. So, but then if you notice next to it, there is a spike on February 13 of 247 visits to my Etsy site. I want you guys to disregard that because what happened was I was an expert for the todayshow.com website. So that is the extra traffic source for that, and probably the next 2 or 3 days. So you can kind of see there was a giant spike, it dropped down, but then the listing views stayed up for several days before dropping back down to where the previous week total had been at. So I'm guessing that there was some residual bump there from the Today Show, and I know that the story got picked up by several other news sources, so we're going to disregard that giant spike right there. But what happened was, so I started this on January 23rd, and I went through February 23rd, which is technically more than 30 days, but I wanted to give it a good, a good long stretch to give it a try. And let's take a peek here at the prior 30 days. So here is what my listings looked like for the previous month. Now, it kind of looks similar, but if you look on the left-hand side, it says 60 and 30. So if you look at February, those numbers are in the hundreds. So it's 100, 200, 300. So not apples to apples there. So we're going to be looking at the actual number that we did for January on each particular day. So if I take a look at that January listing here, so if you look at the January listing, there's also a spike mid-January that shows 52 visits that day. So that's 52 people that went to my website. That was not a Today Show bump. That was not any other kind of bump besides just regular listings. And I think at that time I had actually, I did 2 listings that day, but I think I also updated a bunch of things on my shop. So I had done like shop updates, and I had done a couple other things. I've been playing with Etsy to see how I could improve my SEO and get things working. So I think actually that spike there in the middle of January was because I had done some cleanup of shop policies and things like that, and added a frequently asked questions section and a lot of things that Etsy likes to see. So their best practices sort of policies, which I didn't have Because let's face it, you start out with Etsy, you have no freaking clue what you're doing. And you just learn it as you go. There was no Bible, Etsy Bible, and their reading material on their website is as dry as a cracker. It's just the worst thing ever. So it was like I've just been learning as I went, and I didn't know I should have a frequently asked questions. I didn't know I should have the shop policies, privacy policy. I didn't know any of that stuff, so I was adding that stuff in January. Because as you know, it was my goal video. It's up here in the cards. I can put a link to the goal video to double down and get this business thing going right, and to make sure I had everything in place. So that spike mid-January is, I'm pretty sure that. But prior to that, I had only had on average a few visitors per day. So the visits were at like 3 to 9. On average, it was about 7. So if I averaged out how many people saw my listing through January, it was about 7 per day. Okay. Now, if I look at the stats for the last 30 days, now I had a total of 1,284 visits for that 30-day period. That's really great. I mean, it's like the total views were 2,128. So on average, each person that went to my Etsy listing was looking at two different listings. So that's just an average. So you'll have one person that literally went to look at one piece because they saw it posted on Pinterest or posted on Facebook or posted on Twitter or wherever they saw it. And then you have the people that go in because they saw the one piece, and then they'll look at a bunch of other stuff that might be related to something that they're collecting or what they're looking for. But if I go from December 23rd to January 22nd, which is when I started posting every day, I had a total of 3 orders for $97.25. Not great. Not great at all. And my visits were 519 visits and 710 views. Well, that's a whole different ballgame. In the last 30 days where I was posting every day, I got 7 orders, $265, so 2.5 times the amount of dollars that I earned. That's awesome. Double the amount of orders, more than double the amount of orders. 1,290 views and 2,128 views. That's awesome. As far as views goes, we have 3 times the views and almost 3 times the visits. So yeah, posting every day really does actually help with your Etsy listing. I have not seen like an explosion, but it certainly did more. It benefited me more as far as dollar amounts earned than when I took out an ad for Etsy. So I'd done like well, I told you guys about that. But I spent that money with Etsy and I didn't really see any return. I got 1 order out of that whole debacle, and I lost money. So this is, each listing is 20 cents a piece. I listed more than 1 on several days. I want to talk about that because I wanted to see if it actually improved the ranking even more. So let's say I was doing 1 a day, and then I decided, okay, today I'm going to do 3. So I posted 3, and there was a spike. There was a jump up when I posted 3. However, when I consistently posted 3, it dropped down. It did not stay up at the spike. So I don't know why, but it doesn't actually give you that much benefit. So I wanted to get my shop full. I wanted to be over 100 listings before the end of the month, and that's just my personal goals for the month, so that I had nothing to do with the posting at Etsy on every day. So there were quite a few days when I posted 4 items or 5 items, and I did not notice at 4 or 5 items the same kind of spike that I did the first time I did the 3, so the additional 2 listings. Make of that what you will. But I would say So if you're struggling, if your shop is struggling and you're not seeing the amount of views that you'd like to see or the amount of sales that you'd like to see, posting every day is definitely preferable as far as return on investment, so bang for your buck. So ROI is one of those terms that gets thrown around in business all the time, and if you're not used to hearing that, you're not going to know what that is. But as far as my ROI goes, return on investment, the $6 I spent to post 30 things on Etsy got me far more views and visits and sales than when I spent $32 with Etsy as far as doing their advertising. So between that and then updating those shop policies, that gave me another little bump. So if your Etsy shop has just been set up and you're not seeing any kind of traffic or anything like that, and you don't have your frequently asked questions fill out, for God's sake, fill them out. And you're like, Stacy, I'm just starting. I don't have frequently asked questions yet. Well, make stuff up. So if you think people are gonna ask if you live in a smoke-free home, and believe me, they're gonna ask if you live in a smoke-free home, list it as a frequently asked question. Take a peek at what other people in your same sort of genre, if you're a vintage seller, go look at my frequently asked questions. I don't mind, steal them. There's some on there that won't pertain to you, but that's okay. You know, take a look at what I've listed. So do you have a pet? That was another one that I saw that people were asking a lot. I happen to have 2 cats, so yes, I do. That doesn't make some people happy. If they're allergic to cats, they're not gonna wanna buy stuff from your shop. So there are a lot of frequently asked questions that you'll see out there in other people's stores. Assume there will be your frequently asked questions. If you're selling the same type of product, it probably will be. I would definitely recommend making sure your privacy policy is up to date. So Etsy has a whole section on the privacy policy. And if you want to ship overseas, you have to have this policy. And since I wasn't shipping overseas, there were a couple sections that I hadn't filled out at the time that I started my store. But now I've opened up to shipping overseas. So I was getting a lot of hits from places like Germany and Australia, and I didn't have international shipping, and I was getting a lot of requests for international shipping. So I did go ahead and change my shop policy. There are still some items on there, I think, that say they're not international, but hey, if you're in Australia and you want that particular piece, just shoot me a convo and I will change it. I'm working on it. I'm working on improving the shop. So, but that helped as well. So little shop updates. So if you want to just you want to post 1 thing and not 2 things a day or 3 things a day because you're on a budget, post a shop update. I've been posting shop updates and taking pictures when we're out junking and saying, hey, this is what we're doing today. And that seems to help your search engine as well. I think what Etsy's trying to do is they just want to see that you are an active shop. I think if you just post something and it just is dead, like you never post again, like you post everything all on the same day and then after that you post nothing, Etsy's like they're a dead shop. So if you're posting shop updates or a shop video, and just post a little bio in there, people like to see who you are. So I hadn't really fleshed out my shop settings as much as I should have, and after I did that, I did see a little increase. So now I'm posting updates frequently. I'm doing what I can to stay active, but yeah, I'll continue to post at least 1 item a day. I mean, it was totally worth it to me to see that kind of traffic, and it was good for me. I mean, I tripled my sales. So yeah, they really do like to see, and it, you know, hearing from other people that it helps is one thing. Actually sitting down and taking a look at the numbers, and I just showed you the numbers. I mean, I actually did it every day. I didn't miss 1 day. There was 1 day that I almost missed. And my daughter was wonderful. She's like, weren't you supposed to take some Etsy pictures today? And I got them in there. But I posted every day. And I did do some shop updates. And it really does help. Just make sure your shop stays active. Make sure you give it all the love you can. Make sure every little box and bucket is filled out. And I think people think that there's parts of those listings that aren't important, like attributes and things like that. I've seen that a lot when I've looked at other people's stores. I kind of cyber stalk people and look at what they're doing and see how their sales are going. And the Etsy does like the 10 pictures. They do like all their buckets and boxes checked and filled out. So use them. That's what they want to see from you. Use them. So that's all I have to say. I hope this has been helpful to you. It does actually help your sales. So I'm going to continue. I would never run another Etsy ad. Nope. Won't happen. I'm not going to run a shop promotion or anything like that because it just didn't produce the results that posting every day did. Not going to lie. And I know Etsy changes their algorithms frequently. So somebody had said that they feel like that a change should be coming from Etsy. Wouldn't surprise me if it did, but if they do, I'll try and figure it out and let you guys know what I found. So hopefully that helps some of you out there. Some of you may see this video and go, lady, I don't care, just do more Junkin videos. They're coming. Those are coming too. So as always, thanks for watching, everyone. I feel so blessed. I have a bunch of new subscribers. I want to say hi and thank you for clicking that subscribe button. If you haven't yet subscribed and you're watching this and you found this helpful, click the thumbs up and also click the subscribe button. I post twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays, DIY tutorials and Junkin videos. So thanks for watching, everyone. Happy Junkin. Bye.
Visit my blog, peonylanedesigns.com, for more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos. I post every week DIY tutorials and, of course, more Junkin videos.